Welcome everyone. Today we are in chapter 3, data description. There are a lot of things to complete in this chapter, but the first concept is called the measure of central tendency. There are several measures of central tendency and we are going to go over each of them in detail. The first one is called the mean or average. When we say mean or average, it is the sum of the values divided by the total number of values. That is the definition. And we are used to of this. Whenever we want to find the average, we add all values. So that is the sum of all values, and we divide by the total. The sum of values divided by the total number of values. So that is how we find the mean or average. There are several situations and there are different formulas to find the mean. Depending on the situation, we have different formulas. But one important thing that you should note here is that for the on-group data, the formula is sum of x divided by n. If it is group data, it is sum of f times x divided by n. If it is for the sample, we denote the mean by x bar. And if it is for the population, we denote the mean by this Greek letter, which is called mu. We denote the mean by a Greek letter, which is called mu. And there's a special type of average called weighted mean. And we find the weighted mean using this formula, sum of x times w divided by sum of w. In the formulas here, you can see sum of f. Note one thing, sometimes the sum of frequency can be written as n, because the sum of frequency is the total number of observation. So we can just write n for that. So these are just the formulas to find the mean. Example, the ages of 7 students in a chess club is given below. Here you see the ages of 7 students. We have to find the mean or the average age of the students. So when you look at the data here, this data does not have frequency. When you see a data without frequency, it is called on-group data. On-grouped data. And the formula to find the mean of on-group data is this. Mean x bar is equal to sum of all x divided by n. Meaning of that is we have to add all of this and divide by the total. So let's do that. Here, the mean will be equal to sum of all x. So we have to add all these numbers, which is 18 plus 19 plus 17 plus 18 plus 16 plus 20 plus 18. And we have to divide by the total number of observation. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, if you add everything in the numerator here, if you add all these numbers, the sum is 126. Divide that by 7. Then we get 126 divided by 7 is 18. So the mean is 18 years. So when on-group data is given to you, that is the data without frequency like this, all you have to do is you have to add all the numbers and divide by the total to find the mean. Example, the gas mileage in miles per gallon for 30 small cars are listed below. We have to find the mean gas mileage. So here what they have given is gas mileage 31, you have 11 cars. Gas mileage 36, you have 12 cars. Gas mileage 41, you have 2 cars. Gas mileage 46, you have 5 cars. So meaning of that is this data given here is group data. This is your group data. And if you want to find the mean of the group data, the formula to find the mean of the group data is this. Mean is equal to sum of frequency multiplied to x divided by n. So these are your frequencies. That's your f. And the values given here, the gas mileage, that is your x. So what we need is, we need the product of those. So what we are going to do is, we are going to create a small table here. We have x and f. X is 31. F is 11. So what I want is f times x. F times x. We have to find all f times x, and then this sign is sum. We have to add them together. So if I multiply here, 31 times 11 is 341. Next we have 36, 12. 36, 12. Now to find f times x, we multiply. So 36 times 12 is 432. Next is 41 with frequency 2. If you multiply, 41 times 2 is 82. Next is 46 and 5. If you multiply, 46 times 5 is 230. So we were able to find all f times x over here. Now, if you look at the formula here in front of f times x, there is a sum. That is, we have to add these values. So let's find the total. Let's find the total. If you add these, 11 plus 12 plus 2 plus 5, that is equal to 30. Because we are observing a total of 30 small cars. So if you add all these cars, that is 30. Now if you add f times x, 341 plus 432 plus 82 plus 230, it is 1085. So we have all these values. Now we can plug in the information into this formula to find the mean. Now the mean will be, let's do that. Now the mean is equal to sum of f times x. When you look at the sum, it is 1085. 1085. And you have to divide that by the total. Total number of frequency, n is same as total in the frequency, which is 30. So this implies, if you divide 1085 by 30 using calculator, you must get 36.1667 if I write up to 4 decimal places. So the average mileage is 36.1667 miles per gallon. So that is the average. So in this example, we calculated the average or the mean of the group data using this formula. Example, the number of beds in a sample of 20 hospitals is shown here. We have to find the average number of beds. So the data given here is group data. This is group data. But note one thing here, this group data has the class. So whenever you are finding the average or the mean of the group data like this involving the class, the formula is this. Mean is equal to sum of f times m divided by n. So this m is the midpoint of each class. M is the midpoint of each class. So let's see how we can find that m and how we can find the mean. So For each class, we write the M or the mid value. We have the frequency, and then we need F times M. So for the first class, what we have to do is, in order to find the mid value, you have to add these two numbers, 127 plus 161. When you add those two numbers, it is 288, and then divide it by 2. So we have to add the lower value, upper value, and divide the result by 2. 127 plus 161 is 288. Divided by 2 is 144. 144. Frequency for this class is 7. Now to find F times M, we multiply. 144 times 7 is 1008. Now let's go to second class. Here we have 162 plus 196, that will be 358. Divide that by 2, it will be 179. The frequency is 6. Now multiply this. 179 multiplied to 6 is 1074. 1074. Next class, to find the midpoint, we add these two values. 197 plus 231, which is 428. Divide that by 2, it will be 214. 214. Frequency is 3. Now if we multiply, 214 times 3 is 642. 642. We go to next class now, this one, which is 232 plus 266 is 498. If you divide it by 2, it will be 249. 249. You can see the frequency is 3. And if you try to multiply 249 times 3, it will be 747. 747. One more to go. 267 plus 301 is 568. Divide that by 2, you get 284. 284. Frequency is 1. Now if you try to multiply, 284 times 1 is 284. Now let's find the total. So if you try to find the total, if you add all these numbers, that is 20, because we are taking a sample of 20 hospitals and we are finding the average number of beds. Now let's add these values, F times M. If you add all these numbers using calculator, the result is 3,755. Now everything is ready. Now we are going to use our formula. So we have the mean given by the formula, sum of F times M divided by N. Sum of F times M, if you multiply all these and add, it is 3,755. And you are dividing this by the total. Total is 20. Now if you simplify that, 3,755 over 20, it is 187.75. Now if you look at the problem here, we are calculating the average number of beds. So when you're looking at number of beds, it cannot be decimal. So we have to change this to a nearest whole number. When I say 187 point something, it is same as 188 beds. So that is the average number of beds in those 20 hospitals. So in this example, we calculated the mean of the group data involving the class. So whenever you see the class, you have to find the mid value, then multiply each mid value with the frequency, add them together and divide by the total, you will get the average. Example, Marisha completed her first semester at Community College of Aura, and her result is shown below. Here is the result. We have to determine her GPA. So when we say GPA, remember one thing, GPA is an example of weighted mean. It is the example of weighted mean. And when we find the weighted mean is given by this formula. Sum of x times the weight divided by the total number of weight. In case of GPA, when we say the weight is the credit hours. That is the weight. And one important thing to note here, the letter grades are A, B, C, D, and F. If your score is F, then we say that your GPA is 0. And if your score is a perfect score, we say that the GPA is 4. So meaning of that is F is 0, A is 4. Meaning of that is B is 3, C is 2, and D is 1. This is something that you must remember with the grade letter or the letter grade. Okay, if it is A, it's 4. If it is B, it's 3. If it is C, it is 2. D is 1, and F is 0. So here, if you look at the score, in statistics, he got A, that is the X value in statistics, that's A, which is 4. And in sociology, it's a B, that's a 3. And then we have psychology, A, that's 4. And then computer programming is a C, which is a 2. And then drama is A, that's a 4. That's your X value, that's the mark. Now we have the credit hour or weight for each of these letter grade. So weight is there. Weight is, the first one is 4 credit, so 4. The second one is 3 credit. Third is also 3 credit. Then we have a 5 credit class and 1 credit class. So we have X and we have W. Now in order to find the mean, we have to multiply X and W and add them together. So in next column, I need X times W. So if you multiply, 4 times 4 is 16, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, 2 times 5 is 10, 4 times 1 is 4. And then we are going to add them together. So total. If you add the total number of credits here, if you add all that, that's equal to 16. If you add X times W, 16 plus 9 plus 12 plus 10 plus 4, that is 51. So once everything is ready, now we can use this formula to find her GPA. Now, GPA, which is the grade point average, okay, or the weighted mean, is equal to sum of X times W divided by sum of W. Sum of X times W, when you add X times W, it is 51. And when you divide it by the total number of credit, which is 16, the GPA will be 3.1875. So this is how GPA is calculated. Whenever you are asked to calculate the GPA, that is the weighted mean, and this is exactly how we calculate the GPA. Median, this is the second type of measure of central tendency in this chapter. When we say median, median is the midpoint of array data. It is the middle value of the given data. And the symbol for the median is MD. And here we have the steps to find the median. I'm going to read these steps quickly and apply them in the example. So in order to find the median, what we have to do is we have to arrange the data in ascending order, that is from the smallest value to the highest value. And then we have to determine the number of values in the data, how many are there. Maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe 15, maybe 17. So we have to determine the number of values in the data. If it is odd, like 7 or 17 or 21, then the middle data value is the median. But if it is even, like 16 or 22 or 10, then the median is the average of the middle two values. Let's see what is the meaning of that and how we can use these steps in finding the median. Let's take an example. Example, for the following set of data, find the median. So here we have the data. If you look at it, we have 1, 11.5, 6, 7.2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 6.8, 8.3, then we have a 2, the other 2, and then 10. So this data is not arranged. So our first step is to arrange this data. So let's arrange this data together. Let's write down. Arranged data will be, we are going to start with the smallest data value here. The smallest data value is 1. Then you have 2 of them. Then you have 4. You have a 6. You have 6.8. Then you have 7.2. Then you have 8. 8.3. Then you have a 9. Then you have 210, you can see. And you have 11.5. So that's your first step. You arrange the data and check how many data values are there. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So n is equal to 13. You have 13 data value. Now if you divide 13 into two parts, you will have 6, 6 and 1 in the middle. That is the meaning of that. If you divide 13 into two parts, you'll have 6 lower values, 6 upper values, and then 1 value in the middle. That is, you can show it like this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values here, 6 values here. Clearly, you can see here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here is 1 value in the middle. If you look at it carefully, you have this value in the middle. So the value which is in the middle, that is called the median. So the median, which is written as MD, is equal to 7.2. So all you have to do is to arrange the data in increasing order and then look for the middle value. The value in the middle is called the median. So this is how we can find the median of the given data set. Example, for the following set of data, find the median. Here we have the values given: 684, 764, 656, 702, 856, 1133, 1132, 1303. We can clearly see that this data is not arranged. So first we are going to arrange the data. So the arranged data will be, let's see what it will be. The arranged data will be, the smallest is 656. Then we have 684. Then you have 702. Then you have 764. Then you have 856. Then you have 1132. Then you have 1133. Then you have 1303. So we arrange the data from the smallest to the largest. Now, if you count how many are there, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. N equal to 8, even number. So we have even number of data, N equal to 8. So if you divide this into two parts, you will have 4 and then 4. So if I want to show that here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here and 4 on the other side. See, the data is divided into two equal parts. Now your median will be in the middle. So if you want to find the median, your median is here in the middle. That's your median. Median is in the middle. But in the middle, there is no number. So in order to find the number in the middle, or number in between 764 and 856, we add these two numbers and divide it by 2. So we do 764 plus 856 and then divide that by 2. And if you add those two numbers, it is 1620 and divide that by 2, you get 810. So in this case, the median is 810. It is the value which lies between 764 and 856. So this is how we find the median. If there is nothing in between, it is what you have to do is you have to add those two numbers and divide the sum by 2. So the third type of central tendency is the mode. When we say mode, it is the most frequent value in the data set. Whenever we are talking about mode, it is the most frequent value in the data set. Sometimes you may have more than one mode, but it is always associated with the most frequent data value or the one with highest frequency. Say, for example, if a data has two modes, in that case, we call it bimodal. But when I just talk about this theory, you will not understand what is going on here. So let's take an example. Here is that example. Example, statistics exam score for 17 students are shown here. We have to find the mode. So in order to find the mode, we look for the most frequent data value. So if you look at this carefully, you'll see you have 59 here, 2 times, 63, 2 times, 72, 5 times, and then over here we have 84, which is 3 times. So you can see that 72 occurs the most. So 72 occurs the most. So meaning of that is the mode is 72. Mode is 72. So whenever we are calculating the mode, we have to look which data value is repeating the most. 72 is repeating the most. That's why 72 is the mode. Mid-range. When I say mid-range, it is the average of the lowest value and highest value. And when I say the average of two numbers, it is you have to add the lowest value, the highest value, and divide it by 2. If you add the lowest value and highest value and divide it by 2, you'll get a quantity called mid-range. Mid-range is denoted by MR. Let's take an example here. Example, the number of bank failures for a recent 5-year periods are shown here. How many bank failures are there? We have to find the mid-range. So whenever you are calculating the mid-range, you want to find the lowest value, you want to find the highest value, add them together and divide it by 2. So here in this data set, the lowest value is 5. The highest value is 160. And you are dividing that by 2. So if you add those two, it is 165 divided by 2, which is 82.5. So the mid-range is 82.5. It's very simple. When you are calculating the mid-range, you have to add the lowest value, you have to add the highest value, and divide it by 2. You'll get the mid-range. Range. When we say range, it is the difference between the highest value and the lowest value in the data set. For example, here we have the data about the bank failure for a recent 5-year period. We have to find the range. So whenever we want to find the range, it is the difference between the highest and lowest value. So we write range is equal to the largest value minus the smallest value, or you can also write the highest value minus the lowest value. Highest value in this data set, if you look at this data set, the highest value is 160, lowest value is 5. So your range will be, let me write here, range is equal to 160 minus 5, which is 155. So the range is 155. So this is how we calculate the range.